Hey gang, welcome back. Hope you had a good day. All right, in this video we're going to be covering rectangular prisms, which is another favorite of the SAT. We're going to focus on volume and a little bit of surface area. Just a reminder, right? Rectangular prisms, there's sort of three forms they can take, and they're all kind of the same, but it's nice to know them, right? There's a classic just box where all dimensions are different. There's a kind of box where the base is a square, but then the height is different length, right? And then you have a cube. And a cube has its own little rules, but just like a square is a rectangle, a cube is a rectangular prism. So on this one here, right, the volume formula is nice and easy. Length times width times height. For a cube, it's even simpler, side cubed. And then for surface area, it's a little more complicated, but it's still not too bad. Because you have two of each side, right? Everything's duplicated because you have a front and a back. You just do 2 times length times width plus length times height plus width times height. And for a cube, because it's 6 of the same thing, you do 6 sides squared. Okay. So now with that, you see the equations, they're not too bad. You have some of them on the reference sheet. It's still helpful to memorize them so you don't have to look at the reference sheet and you can save yourself time. And now let's try this question. A rectangular prism with a square base of area 9 has a volume of 36 and a surface area of 66. What is the ratio between the height and the base side length? Okay. So it's nice, right? We're going to do volume. So it's going to be V equals LWH. But here the L and W are the same thing. So we can call that B squared H equals 36. And the area of the square base is 9. We can do B squared equals 9. So we're going to square root, and we get B equals 3. So then B squared H, we can plug that in. We didn't even need to find B because we could have just plugged in there, but that's okay. So we're going to get 36 equals 9H. H equals 4. Okay. So that's nice and easy there. And now we also know that we have the base and the height, and it's asking for the ratio between the height and the base side length. So we didn't even have to use the surface area, right? That was a red herring. That was in there to throw us off, to make us double think. Maybe you could have found it using surface area, but volume was easier to do. And now that we have a height and base, it's asking for ratio between the height and the base. So the first number is the numerator. Second number is the denominator. So it's going to be 4 to 3. You can't put colons in. So it's going to be 4 over 3, which is like 1.3 repeating. Okay. So that one's nice and straightforward. A little tricky with a surface area of 66, but we don't need to find that. Okay. And now let's try this one. A pool has a rectangular bottom and goes straight up on the walls. Okay, so that's just telling us it's 90-degree angles. Its rectangular bottom has an area of 12 square meters. Okay, so we drew it out, right? This is the rectangular bottom, and it's 12. It's 4 meters deep. Okay, so then if we drew this out here, it'd be 4. How many minutes will it take to fill up if it does 0.5 metric meters per minute? Okay, so we have to find how much volume it has, and then we convert that into minutes by dividing by the rate, right? So this is the rate here. So to find this, right, volume equals length times width times height. Here, though, the length and the width, we can just say that equals 12. So LW equals 12 because it's just the area of the base times the height, right? That will always work for right rectangular prisms or regular prisms like that, right? It wouldn't work for cones, but we'll get to those eventually. So V equals 12H, and we know what H is. It's 4, so it's 12 times 4. So V equals 48. Great. So we see the answer 48, and you might be tempted to put that in, but remember, it's not asking for the volume, it's asking for how many minutes it'll take to fill up. So now we're going to do 48, and I like to write out the units. So meters cubed, right? And we're going to convert that to minutes. And this one is 0.5 metric meters per minute. So that's going to be 1/2 minutes. So it's going to be metric cubed, meters cubed over minutes. And now we want the minutes on top, right? So we have to divide. So that means we're going to do 48 meters cubed times 2 minutes over 1 meter cubed. And now you get the units to cancel. This is a technique you use a lot in physics or chemistry, right? Where you cancel out units. And now you do 48 times 2, which is 96. So your answer is 96, right? Nice and easy. This is a maybe medium level question. And now let's go on to the last one here. A pool has a rectangular bottom. Okay, so another pool. And goes straight up on the walls. Okay, same setup. Its rectangular bottom has an area of 20 square meters. It's 6 meters deep. What percentage full is it if it is 90 cubic meter? If it has 90 cubic meters of water in it. Okay, so very similar. We're going to do the same thing. V equals length times width times height. But length times width here equals 20. We don't need to find the individual units. I think that's the mistake you might try to make. You just need to find the volume, and you're close already with the area of the base and the height. So now you're going to do 20 times 6, and you're going to get 120 meters cubed. And then you have 90 cubic meters of water, right? So 90%, that's almost just 90. That doesn't make sense. So you're going to do 90 meters cubed over 120 meters cubed. That cancel that out. You have 9/12, which is 3/4. And then 3/4, you should just know automatically. You shouldn't have to put that in your calculator. You should know immediately 75%. And that's in general a rule I would recommend is learning basic fractions and what they are in decimals and percents. So half, right, is 50%, quarters is every 25%, tenths is 10%, right? You have a fifth, which is 20%, and so on. And then I would recommend knowing that an eighth is 12.5%, and you just add 12.5% each time up. A third is around 33%. A sixth is around 16%, and I could go on. But those are the main ones you want to know. A 20th is 5%. That's probably another one. And a 25th is 4%. Because knowing those, right? Obviously, you have a calculator. You can always find it. But if your brain can think of those automatically, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. And you'll, more importantly, notice patterns in the questions that give you information that you wouldn't see if you were just depending on the calculator. So today I know the math was probably a little easier. The second two questions especially are very similar to each other, but it's still good to practice and think about the basics of these types of questions. And in the future, we'll do more rectangular prisms mixed in with cylinder questions or sphere questions, and we'll see how those work out. So as always, if you have any questions or if you have material you want to cover in the future, let me know and I'll be happy to do it. And if you could like and subscribe, that would be great. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.